6:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand in for Matt Murphy, who is nursing that shoulder after some surgery. He should be back next week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. But I'm with you in the meantime. Appreciate you listening, however you may be listening. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. If you're watching us on Super Talk TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. We appreciate it. Now, with Matt being out, I feel like he's really missing it. Like, he just wants to discuss the news with you in the worst way possible. And I know he's missing it because he keeps sending me voice notes just nonstop. Like all hours of the night, I'm getting texts from Murphy, and it's just another voice note, another voice note. And every time he sends one, he's highly medicated. Like, somebody should check on him. It's very medicated. But he keeps sending me these voice notes, and I want to play them for you, so that way I'm not the only one enjoying these medicated moments with Murphy. So without further ado, another medicated moment with Matt Murphy.
You know, the last 3 days of my life, I feel like Otis Campbell on the Andy Griffith Show. I feel great, better than ever. But everybody looks at me funny and keeps telling me to go to bed. What's up with that?
Could be anything.
Hope everything's going well in your world.
We're good.
Tell everybody I said hello and I miss them. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Matt misses you guys, just in case you didn't know. Yep, he misses you. Misses you. You in the back, he misses you too. Misses all of you. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Is that, am I missing the reference? That's the drunk guy on Andy Griffith,
Yeah,
right?
that's the drunk. Old Otis.
Old Otis. Everybody keeps looking at me funny.
I feel great, better than ever. But everybody looks at me funny and keeps telling me to go to bed.
Yeah, it's a mystery. It could be anything. Matt Murphy will be back next week. We highly anticipate his return. I know he's itching to get back in here. He doesn't want to miss any of this with you guys, and we just wish him a speedy recovery. Shout out to Matt. Thanks for letting me fill in for you. Appreciate it, man. A lot to cover. Donald Trump was at the White House today, and he was really pushing the big, beautiful bill.
Being here to support one of the most important pieces of legislation in the history of our country, and that's everybody saying that, virtually everybody. The one big, beautiful bill to secure our borders, turbocharge our economy, and bring back the American dream. That's what's happening, too. It's met with tremendous approval and reception. And when we were thinking about doing it, we were going to break it down into 3, 4, 5, 6, or even 7 bills. And I said, let's make it one big, beautiful bill, my friend.
So he's got a lot of people there, and he wants to share these stories of the men and women behind him, a lot of Americans, groups of patriots, as he calls it. And he wants to share their stories because he's like, the future of America is depending on this bill, and these are the people that they're going to impact. And I know that there's a lot of people that think that there's too much spending in the bill, and I hear you. I do. But I'm leaning on the trust Trump side. I had my fears and doubts when it came to how he was going to handle the Iran situation, and he blew it out of the water. No pun intended. But he handled that in a way that I could have never imagined. I'm not going to be doubting Trump again. Is there more spending in this bill than we want? Probably. I think you could say that with just about every government spending bill. But this is going to be the vehicle that drives the Trump agenda. This is why he got a mandate. This is why he got almost 80 million votes, because people want the Trump agenda enacted. So when it comes to border security, when it comes to drilling, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to no tax on tips, when it comes to no tax on overtime, this is the vehicle that's driving those promises. So he lines people up and he's going to share some stories, and he does. But he says that the day he signs that bill into law, the big, beautiful bill, it's going to be one of the most monumental moments in history. That's Donald Trump's words today at the White House. Once this thing is signed, it is going to be monumental.
Today I signed this bill into law. Almost every major promise made in the 2024 campaign already will have become a promise kept. And that's very important. Promises made, promises kept.
This is why we elected him. It was the promises on the campaign trail, and Donald Trump keeps his promises. This bill is going to be the vehicle for that. And he says this bill is going to create more than 7 million jobs, add 3.1% to economic growth. It'll reduce taxes for the typical American by about 15%. This is the bill.
And according to the Council of Economic Advisors, these reforms will protect or create more than 7 million jobs, add 3.1% to economic growth, reduce taxes for the typical American by nearly 15%, and increase take-home pay for the normal family of four by at least $13,000. And that takes place immediately. That's not bad, right? Look, I'm looking at that guy back there. Right?
No,
that's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I think people would want that. I think we want the Trump tax cuts extended. I mean, that's first and foremost something that needs to get done because the alternative is a tax hike on everyone. The alternative, Donald Trump says, is the largest tax hike in modern history. Listen to this.
Up the largest tax hike, and we're going to do that in history. This would be, if the bill doesn't pass, there'll be a 68% tax increase. Think of
68%.
that 68%, which would be the largest in history by about 40 points. And we'll make the Trump tax cuts permanent, expand the child tax credit, and we will deliver no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
This is what the people voted for. These were the promises. This brought a lot of independence in. The no tax on tips, the no tax on overtime, the no tax on Social Security. And he brought up individuals to share those stories. He brought in a lineman from Pennsylvania, a trucker from Missouri, two guys that are going to really benefit from no tax on overtime. He brought in a DoorDash driver, and the tips that she gets, there would be no longer taxed. He brought in so many Americans that are absolutely going to be benefited by this. He talked about how the big, beautiful bill is going to benefit farmers, how the bill would provide 100% expensing so farmers can buy new equipment, and it will virtually eliminate the so-called death tax. He brought in a third-generation auto worker from Michigan, the guy who lost his job because he saw all the factories going overseas. He brought in these guys. He brought in Americans. He brought in the men and women that are going to be impacted by this bill in a positive way. That's what we saw. And I think that Donald Trump really does care about those average, hardworking Americans, more so than any other members of the elite political class in America today. I do. I think Donald Trump cares. One of the big things that, for me, in the big, beautiful bill is going to be border security. It's going to be the money and the funding to ramp up the deportations. If we don't get that, Stephen Miller said this, and it's stuck with me ever since. We can quibble about how much money we're spending on the pork over the ruins of Western civilization. If we don't get the 20 million illegal aliens out of this country, then, I mean, everything else we're talking about is really just, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. He had Tom Homan there today, and Tom Homan sang his praise and support for the big, beautiful bill.
Well, look, I think this issue of the big, beautiful bill should be nonpartisan. I don't know what the hell's the matter with everybody up in Congress? People are dying every day. ICE is arresting 3 times as many criminals that the Biden administration did. We're taking public safety threats and national security threats off the street every single day. But we got over 600,000 illegal aliens with criminal histories walking the streets of this country. We got less than 5,000 deportation officers. This should be a no-brainer.
Less than 5,000 deportation officers. Just sit with that number for a second. We have less than 5,000 deportation officers. We have conservative estimates, 20 million illegal aliens. 5,000 deportation officers, 20 million illegal aliens. Again, do you understand why we need this funding? You understand why we need the big, beautiful bill passed. What we're staring down the barrel of is chaos. Passing the big, beautiful bill could restore some order.
The more resources we get, if we get this bill passed, we got more agents on the road. We buy more beds. We get more transportation flights. More agents means more bad guys arrested, taken off the streets of this country every single day. Every day we arrest a public safety threat or national security threat. This makes this country much safer. Who the hell would be against that?
I mean, well, the Democrats, for starters, right? The Democrats, the illegal aliens, the NGOs that have helped fund and facilitate the illegal invasion under Joe Biden. Yeah, they would be against that. We know that they're against that. They don't want Tom Homan anywhere near their cities. They don't want ICE officials anywhere near their cities. And when they do come by, well, the leftists, they dox them. They post them online. They post their face. They post their families, their kids' Instagram profiles. So then the ICE agents have to start wearing masks to protect their identity, and then that's an issue too. Anything ICE agents do is going to be an issue with the left. And what they really want to do is make your community safer. It doesn't make any sense why the left rails against this, but they do. They do.
And I get irritated. I get pissed off because I'm sick of meeting angel moms and dads.
Yep.
You want to talk about family separation? They bury their children. So I've done this since 1984. I've worked for 6 different presidents. No one has had the success of the Trump administration. We got the most secure border in the history of this nation today.
Yep. I think it's important to point out, too, that we have the most secure border in the history of the nation today, and we did it without the extra funding, right? We did it without the bipartisan border bill. We did it by enforcing the laws on the books. Imagine what they could do if we juiced up ICE and DHS with some more funding. Imagine what they could accomplish. You know that their hearts are set on the mission of removing those 20 million illegal aliens. You know that their hearts are set on the mission of securing that southern border once and for all, stopping the human trafficking, the drug trafficking. Imagine if we gave them the tools to do it.
But we need more border wall. Border walls save lives. Women and children can't get over that wall, which means they go to a place where there's not a wall. And what's waiting on them? The men and women of the Border Patrol who take care of the humanitarian needs and save their lives. We already got fentanyl seizures down half. Fentanyl seizures should be 100%. We should have zero fentanyl coming to this country.
Amen.
We need money to help secure that border at a higher level. Stop the fentanyl from coming in. Stop the sex trafficking of women and children. Stop the known suspected terrorists coming across that border. Right now, I was looking at the stats today. ICE is arresting a record number of known suspected terrorists in this country, along with the FBI. With more money, we can arrest more of these people, make this country safer. This is a nonpartisan issue. Let's make this country safe again. So to the Democrats and the Republicans and the Independents, I don't care who you're from, pass the bill so we can make this country safe, so we can stop the violence against ICE officers. Let's make this country safe again. And without that bill, it's going to be a hard road. We got a lot of people to look for, a lot of people to arrest, a lot of national security threats we know are in this country. We need to find them. We need more money to do that. We need more agents to do that. For God's sake, let's pass this bill and get this done.
I'm here for it, and I'm supportive of it. Let's pass it and let's get it done. Look at what these guys have been able to do without it. I mean, we talked about it earlier. 130 Iranian nationals have been arrested in the last 7 days. I mean, these guys are working overtime, busting their behinds, putting their lives on the line. Give them the funding. Give them the funding to fix this problem once and for all. Give them the juice, man. It's time. 621 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.